Today we're going to be making some delicious roast potatoes for you, and we're roasting our parsnips in there as well to make you just a gorgeous golden pile of loveliness. Roast potatoes and roast parsnips, I tend to do mine all together actually because there's not really enough room in our oven to do lots separately, and also I think as much as I like maple parsnips, on a Christmas dinner setting I think there's more than enough things going on without an extra sweet taste going in there. And also if someone doesn't like parsnips, it's quite easy to trick them into eating them. So what I've done, I've already peeled my parsnips and I've peeled my potatoes. I've got 1.5 kilos of potatoes, 500 grams of parsnips. It's quite useful at Christmas time to peel things the night before, then you can just leave them in cold water to soak overnight, and actually it'll soak some of the starch off, so it'll do your potatoes a favour, and also do you a favour by not spending the whole Christmas morning peeling potatoes. I've sort of cut them into this size piece, so I've not gone overly small. I think it's important to have lots of nice edges to go roasty, but if you do them too small, you end up, I often find, with lots of sort of little bits in the tray and no sort of proper roasty to get your fork into. The parsnips I used were quite small parsnips, so I'm going to cut most of them into 3, so cut the bulb bit, no it's not a bulb because it's a root, cut the thicker bit in half and then left the longer bit as a whole, like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put them in, so they're in cold water at the moment. I'm going to put a sort of hefty pinch of salt in each of them, and then I'm going to bring them to the boil. The potatoes I'll boil for about I'll boil them for about 7 to 8 minutes until they're sort of tender to knife point. The parsnips I'll boil for 4 to 5 minutes, so I'm just going to bring those to the boil now. The potatoes and the parsnips are boiled now, so these took 8 minutes in the end, and these took 4 minutes. So what I need to do first of all is it's quite a heavy based baking tray so it doesn't warp too much and then you end up throwing hot fat all over yourself. But there's 5 tablespoons of goose fat in there. You can use sunflower oil if you're vegetarian, but for these instances I want to use goose fat. So I'm just going to put that in the oven for a minute to make sure it gets really smoking hot. The oven's about, it's 200 degrees at the moment, which is about, what's that on a fan? It's about 185 on a fan. Right, so while that's doing that, I'm just going to give the potatoes a little bit of a roughing up. I have let both of these cool ever so slightly because I don't think you want to be adding lots of water into your potatoes, well, into your roast potatoes, so I want as much of the steam to come off as I can really, but I'm just lidding my colander. Just to help with the crispy edges, so you can see they're slightly roughed up there, and the parsnips need it a little less actually. Having said that, I gave them a bit of bashing anyway. Okay, so I think that's good and smoking hot now. It's making the right noises, which is always a good sign, so very, very carefully get this out. There we go, make sure it's all covered. And then I need to add the potatoes and the parsnips into the really hot fat. You should use a spoon really to do this, or at least do it away from you to try and limit splashback. Put those in, pop in the parsnips, so they're all going in together. So those are just about covered now. You want them to be in one layer, you don't want to have some sort of all piled up on top of each other because they all need to touch the tin to make sure they get nice and crispy on the bottom. Last thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to, it's a very lazy seasoning this, I'm just going to get some thyme and throw that in as well. So I'm going to use, I don't know, quite a lot there. And also it looks nice. It looks like you've made an effort, which is always important. So that's probably the equivalent of a small bunch of thyme there. Just let that get a bit oily as well. There we go. So, into the oven with you. I'm going to put them in for 45 minutes to begin with. And then after 45 minutes I'll give them a little poke, perhaps a little turn over, see how they are. and possibly give them another quarter of an hour, but we'll see what they're looking like. So they're looking really quite golden already, but I think they could possibly go for a little bit longer, so I'm just going to quickly turn them over. Again, do be careful with the hot fat. They do smell delicious. All that thyme, the whole kitchen smells like thyme and goose fat. Okay, let's have another look. Oh, I can see already. Without wishing to big myself up too much, wow, those look amazing. Just the right amount of goldenness and unctuousness and scrumptiousness, and as you can tell, I'm quite excited about these. So I just need to transfer them to a dish. Bob's your uncle. Lovely.